Hello, hello, and welcome. Hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning to everyone that's here. It's a lovely, lovely Thursday morning. My name is Rachel Allen. I am from the Social Development Commission. I will be your lovely moderator this morning for this University of Technology's 22nd Annual Community Service Conference Fair. It is my absolute pleasure as a Community Development Officer with the Social Development Commission to be here and to have been asked by the Community Service Department to moderate this conference. Thank you to everybody who came out this morning. Thank you to all of those persons who are online, all the new students that are gearing up and are ready for their next phase, their next journey, their university journey. That's exciting, isn't it? I don't know about you, but when I was heading to university, it was really an exciting time for me, a new chapter in my journey. And it is a chapter in your lives that you should be very proud of, that we honor and commemorate with a conference such as this, with a week of celebration, orientation for our new students, and I am really happy to be a part of that. All right, so we know it got started a little late, but better late than never, and I see a lot of our panelists, I see our guest presenters are here in the building, and they are all ready and raring to go. So I'd first like to say a special thanks to the committee that put together this conference, that is from the Department of Community Service. I'd like to say a special thank you to that planning committee. This is not easy to do. It's not easy to plan. I'm sure, it's very nerve-wracking, especially when you're dealing with new students that are coming into an institution as prestigious as this one. We want to make sure that everything is right for them and conducive for the beginning of their journey. All right, so, I'll be a little host for today. I bring a little vibes. I don't know how much vibes I can bring to the conference, but I'll put my little spice on it. All right? So, without further ado, first, I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors. We have a few sponsors that help to make this conference possible. I'd like to say thank you to AIM Financial Services, also to Optical Smart. We'd like to say thank you to Educom Cooperative Credit Union as well. We don't want to forget our businesses. We'd like to say thank you to New Papine Pharmacy, and New Papine Pharmacy for the new students is one of those places that you should get to know. You can get all of your student life essentials from this pharmacy. They're located right in Papine, and they are an essential service. We'd like to also say thank you to Cal's Manufacturing and to Winchester Dental. Thank you also to the organizations that showed up today and have been with UTech for the week of orientation, to set up their booths, offer and show off their services, their demonstrations, etc. We are appreciative of that kind of collaborative effort. All right, so we had our registration period before we started. That's where everybody comes in, kind of register, get to familiar and settle for the beginning of this particular conference. At this time, I would like to just jump in. I'd like to invite Dr. Nicole Cameron. She is the incoming coordinator for, here she is, Miss Lovely, in this lovely dress. I like to say I love the color of this dress. It matches my SEC shirt. So I'm going to ask her to come up now. She is going to do the invocation for us. Miss Dr. Nicole, take it away.
Thank you so much. Let's stand, everybody. Let's just pause as we pray. Eternal Father and our God, we are so grateful for another day. We thank you for the life that you have given to us. We thank you for all the mercies that we have enjoyed up to this moment. We thank you for the protection that we have gotten so that we could be here in this space at this time for this occasion. So we come seeking your wisdom. We come seeking your protection. We come seeking your guidance even as we gather at this day community service conference this morning. Oh dear Lord, we know that it is your will that we serve. So as we gather, we just ask for your presence and your spirit to guide everything that is done this morning. Let everything be done, we pray, in decency and in order. And at the end of this occasion, Lord, we just give you all the praise for everything that you will do, everything that you continue to do. Bless all those who put in the effort to make today possible. And we just leave everything into your hands as we tell you thanks. Amen. Amen. You may be seated, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cameron. She's our incoming Community Service Program Coordinator. So we are really very appreciative that she could open today's conference in prayer. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to have the welcome and opening remarks from Mr. Paulton Gordon. He's the Director of Community Service of the Community Service Department, and I must say, as he makes his way up here, it's such a privilege as a community development officer to have met and have the privilege to work with a gentleman as dedicated as Mr. Gordon. So I will step aside and allow him to bring his remarks. Please welcome Mr. Paulton Gordon.
Morning. Thank you, Rachel. First, I must say thanks to the planning committee that has kind of put this together. It's an unusual year. 2-3 years ago, we had a full audience here because it was not a hybrid approach. Now we have persons online, so I'm assuming that some persons decided to stay home and watch the proceedings from where they are. But we have the Students' Union who are doing some activities later, so we expect quite a few more to be present in the latter part of this proceeding. First, I must say, welcome to the new students for this academic year, 2022-2023. I know it can get a little bit persons get a little bit apprehensive when they start a new journey, but I'm sure you have been welcomed over the last 3 or 4 days and you are now settling in, and we look forward to your involvement and your support as we maneuver through this academic year. Well, the Community Service Department is the anchor for the university as it relates to outreach and efforts to support community endeavors. So we are the secretariat and the central hub that handles all of that, and we implore students to get involved and to drop by the Community Service Department as early as possible to look at the range of opportunities you have to volunteer throughout the year. Volunteerism. It's pretty much about offering service to individuals, groups, or organizations without the thought of compensation. I'm sure most of the new students would have had some level of support throughout their journey from basic to primary to high school. And I must say, volunteerism would have played a big part in where you are today, whether it is your teacher, your mentor, a community rep, a charitable organization, which would have connected to what you have been doing over the last probably 10, 12 years to get you to this point. So what I want you to do as new students is to focus on where you are and understand that your journey was not done by you alone, and there are a lot of persons who would have contributed to your journey up to this point in time. When you volunteer, it helps to do a lot of things. It builds character. It teaches you to be selfless, humble, patient, and understanding. Because in our space, we have to interact with a lot of persons of different social groups. Some of our students sometimes go by Hope Gardens. There are a lot of children homes. There are a lot of community centers, a lot of basic schools. Some of them are in the deep inner city. So the expectation is that you understand the gamut of support that is required and you act accordingly. So it helps you to build character and prepares you for the real world. You will have opportunities to volunteer both inside and outside of the university. I know the student unions have a number of programs that will allow you to volunteer. One that comes readily to mind is the Teach the Youth program. And this is pretty much done at the start of the summer, where students from the university will engage in teaching youngsters as a part of a summer camp in various communities. And they focus a lot on communities in and around the Papine area. So they might be in Augustown, they might be in Gordontown, they might be in Highlight View, they might be in Kintyre, they might be in Tavern, Sandy Park. But it's a nice, comprehensive program, and it touches the lives of 600-700 kids on an annual basis. So you can start framing your thoughts, looking at how you can support situations like that. And I guess when the student union rep comes up, he'll speak a little bit more about that endeavor. You can also volunteer to be a part of any subcommittees, whether it's on your dorm, in your faculty, any other subgroup within the university, in communities in which you live. Some of you are from different parts of Jamaica and reside in some of the communities adjacent to the Papine campus, where I mentioned some of them earlier, like Papine, Highlight View, but you can still create an impact in that space that you reside. So I implore you to look at opportunities like those and get involved. Again, what I want you to do is to focus on being balanced while you're at university. Clearly, your focus will be educational. You're here to get a degree and get a good degree. But there are other areas of university life that you have to position yourself to get involved with, whether it's extracurricular, whether including sports or culture or arts. There are a range of things that you can get involved with. But as I said before, in helping to build your character and helping you to be as balanced as possible, there'll be a lot of opportunities for you to volunteer and volunteer in a meaningful way. My department has what we call outreach activities for educational institutions, and there are a couple of persons here who has asked us to partner with them as it relates to that. So we have UTech students who, on specific periods, help to teach youngsters, whether it is at the PEP level or the CXC level, and we have had great success. We have persons who are unattached, who have been a part of this program, who have gone on to get their CXCs and then matriculate into the university. So it's a very useful program. If you have a special skill in teaching and want to help, let us know. We can align you or attach you to one of those outreach centers in close proximity to where you reside to make it convenient for you so that all can benefit. So we look forward to your support throughout the academic year. You'll hear a lot more about the range of things that you'll have to do. And for the first year students, you'll hear a lot more about your CSP program, which is part of it's a module that is quite essential for you to graduate. Part of your volunteerism. Look forward to working closely with you. Look forward to the effort. Look forward to the collaboration. And I wish you all the best for the next academic year, 2022 to 2023. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gordon. He is, again, the director of the Department of Community Service. All right? Listen, I was to the side listening to Mr. Gordon speak, and I remember looking in the program prior to, coming up here, and there is a quote in the program that says, volunteers do not necessarily have the time, they just have the heart. I thought that was very striking because oftentimes we do not think that we will have the time to volunteer our time on our service to a worthy cause. But I will implore you, and myself as well, if you do have the heart to volunteer and to give back, try to find the balance to do so. It is very important. Just like Mr. Gordon was speaking to us earlier, saying that, volunteerism is good in terms of to build your character, to give back, to be humble, to really bring to the forefront some of the characteristics that you will need on this journey, on this educational journey. So in keeping with the theme of this conference, the power of volunteerism, unlocking your purpose and passion through service, that is my small encouragement to everybody here. All right, I'm just going to take the time to welcome those persons who are just joining us, those persons who are now joining the online platform. Big up to all of you on the online platform who could not be here but have still tried to make the time to join into this conference. I think that is very important. Thank you, and thank you. All right, so we're supposed to be going into the overview of the Community Service Program 1001 with Miss Alicia Williams, but before we do that, we want to take about 5 minutes. There are some agencies that are here with us, right? Who I would like you to take some time in this 5 minutes for those who are here physically, just to go and visit these agencies. They're in the auditorium here with us. We have Jamaica Association of the Deaf, Jamaica Association for the Blind, this is JSPC, Jamaica Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. I really like this organization because I think, we oftentimes negate the fact that we can volunteer to take care of the animals that are about as well. And we also have Short Time Medical. They are here. They're going to be doing an emergency first aid demonstration. So in this time, I'm just going to ask you all to stretch your legs, talk to these organizations that are here, especially for the new students that are coming in. It's important for me to highlight that some of these agencies, Jamaica Association for the Deaf, Jamaica Association for the Blind, and JSPCA are agencies that you can do your community service. And as you know, you're entering into the university. You are required as a new student to give back some time. And I believe that is 40 hours of community service that each new student is required to do as a part of their journey here at the UTech. So take some time right now. If you're online, you can always visit their websites. If you're here physically, let us just take 5 minutes, go around. If the Short Time Medical team is ready for their demo, we could do that, or we could put that off. But let us just take that time right now, and I will be back with you in short order. Thank you so much.
impression of the CSP 1001 program is that it's a very good program.
It gives students an opportunity to see what is happening in different organizations.
The UTech CSP program has been assisting the Blue and John Crow Mountains National Park for many years. And what we have been trying to do over the years is to work more closely with the CSP department to try to see how we can enhance the experience for the students.
My impression of the program is very, very good. Good volunteers are hard to come by anywhere in any conservation facility because it's a selfless act. So for me, that there are education facilities throughout Jamaica that are offering children and young students the option of coming out to a place like a zoo or a conservation facility and giving them a piece of themselves, I think it's an amazing thing. I think it's very good for the country, and I think it's very good for the future of our students.
This is a charity organization, and sometimes we have so much work to do that we are short-staffed. So when the CSP students are coming to do their hours, it's really helpful. Usually the CSP students are working at W.O.W, which is the main recreational area for the Blue and John Crow Mountains National Park.
It brings some level of efficiency, because we have a number of initiatives that we would have wanted to accomplish. In respect to the amount of staff that we have, we were not able to accomplish those within a reasonable time. And to have those students come in and to assist us, it has been a great level of assistance to the Jamaica Fire Brigade.
When you're looking at a non-profit conservation and education facility, we always need help, we always need extra hands, we need strong people that are willing to come out here and help. So when we get students that come and they help us, whether it be cut off food, or help with cleaning enclosures, or help even when we have kids and when we're educating children on what we do here in the conservation program, it really, really benefits us.
Most students that come here, after they leave here, they want to come back because we are just like a family.
I have first-hand experience interacting with them, and it means then that they would have seen the inner workings of the organization and to see the kind of service that we provide to the public and how they can be of some assistance to the public if and when they choose to go into a particular organization to work.
If you look at Jamaica, there's not really that many options for people that want to work in zoology. So when you can give a student an option to come out here and work and see what it's like to really work with these animals, get close to them, understand what their needs are, it opens them up to new possibilities, new careers.
I've learned the behavior of certain animals, like the Jamaican iguana, for example. I learned how aggressive they actually are when they were actually discovered to be not extinct. So it was a good experience.
I think the main thing is that they like being outdoors and they like going to W.O.W because it's just a beautiful sight. It's very relaxing, refreshing, even though they're doing work. Because they're in the outdoors, they're in a cool environment up in the mountains.
Our volunteers come out here and help us with the smaller things so we can really pay attention to the animals themselves. So when the students come out here, they really help with preparation and cleaning of our areas.
For me to actually work with animals, it was a really great experience. The day-to-day activities was a bit tedious, but I got used to it.
Not last year, but the year before, a group of students actually did some beautiful murals that we now have in place in our visitor center, and they helped with the various exhibits that are in that center. So we're trying to identify, sort of almost legacy projects as it were that the students can be involved in addition to just general assistance.
We are relatively satisfied with what the program entails. We would want to put them into some broader areas where they can be more knowledgeable in different aspects of the organization. So I think we can always look at where we can improve the program, and from there we can take it to another level.
What has enhanced the program for us over the last 2 or 3 years is the interaction of our management with the management within the CSP.
It's a good thing to actually give back because it helps not just in the way you actually see things, but the way you actually feel. It gives a good feeling. It gives you a feeling of accomplishment. It makes you want to do it again. So I would say that you should try your best to, any time that you have, to actually invest in volunteerism.
All right. Welcome again. Welcome back. We just took a 5-minute break for those persons who are with us here in person. They went to check out the various organizations that are in the auditorium here with us. And now we will return to our program. All right. So I am being beckoned to over here, so I'm just going to pause for a moment. And all right, no problem. All right, so at this time, we will ask the outgoing program coordinator, community service program coordinator, Miss Alicia Williams. She's going to address us at this moment, after which we'll have a very exciting panel discussion. So without further ado, Miss Alicia.
Thank you. Morning. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me down there? Okay, cool. So before I get into my speech, I want to do a little challenge, a little activity to get you all warmed up. And so my activity is, thank you. When I say CSP, you say volunteer. You got it? Hello? All right. So CSP. CSP? CSP? Okay, now when I say volunteer, you say CSP. Volunteer? Volunteer? Now turn to your neighbor and ask him, did you get it? Wait for the answer. Did they get it? Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. My name is Alicia Williams, and I am the outgoing university's CSP coordinator. This morning, I want to acknowledge the members of the CSP committee. I want to acknowledge any lecturer or anyone else who is here. I want to acknowledge all the persons online, families and friends, and of course, you, our special guest this morning, our first-year student. This morning, I want to share with you a famous quote that I often use at the beginning of my class. It's an African proverb, and it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. The University of Technology Jamaica has created a program that allows you to work together. The program basically has 40 hours of voluntary service where you will go out into different agencies and basically help different persons. So in this program, you will be able to assist in the improvement of your community. I felt like Mr. Gordon took away my speech this morning, because in doing that, you will support families in daycare centers, basically helping persons who are old or elderly or disabled. You will basically improve students in terms of their literacy, helping young children as well as persons who are in high schools or even colleges or universities. It depends on where it is that you choose to go to volunteer. You basically will be supporting youths in terms of there are different youth programs, and there are programs here at the university that you can volunteer at. So you can go to your faculties and ask if it is that you can volunteer with them. And of course, you can volunteer within your community. Most of you would have known about different community programs within your community, and so you can get involved in there. And I encourage you not to wait until it's too late, because most of the time, these places are filled quickly. You learn about the government. Because you will be working with different government institution, you will basically learn of the function and operation within those government organizations, and so you can help to build Jamaica. You will build network. Volunteerism allows you to basically become familiar with persons in different organizations in schools, and at the end of the day, you will have a wide network so that at the end of the day, when you graduate, you might even be able to get a job depending on where it is that you work, and if you work good too, because I always tell the students, don't just go there and sit and wait for somebody to give you something. Use your initiative and try to ask what else it is that you can help to do. Of course, it also helps you to look at your present career. Sometimes students come to UTech and they will enroll in a degree program, and then at the end of the day, they're not quite sure whether or not this is a program they want to basically pursue as a career, and so they change after the first year. Volunteerism can help you to really, really go out in an organization that is doing the career path that you would like to take, and then you'll be able to say, okay, I think I really want to do this, or if I want to change. And of course, last, in terms of how volunteerism assists, is that it helps to reduce stress. Yes, if you're overwhelmed, if you feel like the world is crashing in and university life is just so overwhelming, volunteerism actually allows you to forget about yourself and basically see the needs of others. I've had several students who are in my class who said to me, boy, miss, you know, I feel privileged. Or, miss, I really never understood what other persons are going through in life, especially when they go to like children homes and they see other persons. I remember in my class, there was one student who said to me, she was broken because she went to a children's home and the children didn't have parents, and then she went back home every day and she was with her mom and her dad. So simple things, it allows you to appreciate in life. And so it allows you to reduce the stress, forgetting about yourself and just thinking about the needs of others. So through volunteerism, you want to contribute to Jamaica's development by finding and implementing solutions to national social problems like crime and violence. Remember, you're not too young to make a change. And so the change really starts with you. It helps you also to basically help with poor social services and work ethic and poor work ethics, as well as to empower other individuals in tertiary education. We want you to share the experience you have gained at your agency within your classroom. So we want you to go back and to share with your classmates through 5 interactive classroom sessions, and guess what? You have to attend. So ensure that you attend all the 5 classroom sessions. It's just 5 classroom sessions throughout the semester, so you don't want to miss the rich experience that you will learn and share in those classroom sessions. Of course, the act of volunteerism means that through service, an individual not only empowers themselves, but they empower other persons. And so at the end of your module, we want you to basically understand the Jamaica 2030 vision, understand your role in building Jamaica and making it a better place where you can basically work, live, and basically enjoy the country. We don't want when by the time we reach 2030, so much violence that at the end of the day, no one wants to come out of their home. So we want you to change, to make a change when you go out there to volunteer. And so at the end of the day, I'm encouraging you, please, 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 take your voluntary experience very, very serious. When you're there with a child or you're there helping somebody, you better believe that this could be you in the next 50 years. Somebody, or even, life has so many darts in the next 10 years or so. Maybe this could be you who need this help. And so again, I want to welcome you to the University of Technology, Jamaica, the birthplace of greatness, where dreams begin and everything starts with you. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you so much, Miss Alicia Williams. She is the outgoing CSP Program and Director, and she has served the department well. Thank you so much. All right, at this very time, I'd like to invite Miss Wyoming Hopkins. She's the Public Relations Officer for the UTech Students Union. We're now going to be having a panel discussion, and I'm pretty excited about this part because, as you know, it's a part of UTech's mandate to encourage their students to volunteer and to have volunteerism at the heart of what they are doing here to help to strike that balance, right? And so we are going to hear from our panelists. Miss Wyoming, are you here? Oh, I didn't see you there. She's so tiny. Hi, Miss Hopkins. So she will be introducing our panelists for today.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. No, the sons are dead. We can't sound hungry now because we have a lot going on outside, and this conversation is one that is going to need your active participation. So let me hear better greetings. Good morning. Quick question. How many of you that are in the auditorium as of now are students that are in the halls of residence? Raise your hand real quick. So on a no say on a thank you morning we give. Good morning, guys. All right, that sounds a little better. Like when you find the food when you eat this morning. Love that. So I would love, firstly, to thank you guys for coming out. We're little, but we're taller. And this is a very important conversation, a very important topic, community service. And it sounds very simple, but it holds a lot of weight. So we're going to be having our panel discussion right now, and I'd like to invite our panelists to the stage. And our first panelist is Miss Nancy Pincus, Executive Director of the Council of Voluntary Social Services. Please make her welcome. Excellent. Remember, we're keeping on point with the vivacious welcome, not the daddy one. So our next panelist is Mr. Courtney Garrick, our very own UTech lecturer. He is a community service project tutor. So please make him welcome. Hours of residence, I need you. Give us a good welcome, please. Excellent. Our third panelist is Mrs. Shireen McLeod-Tate, former community service program student. So we have from all areas, our panelists are diverse. Please make Mrs. McLeod-Tate welcome. Our fourth panelist is Mrs. Shama Dickens Phillips, the founder of Bridgeview Foundation and the participating agency of UTech's Community Service Project. Please make her welcome. And last, but definitely not least, Mr. Keith Battles, the country director for the United States Peace Corps in Jamaica. Please make him welcome. Lovely. No, we need a next vivacious welcome. Come on, come on. Excellent, excellent. I'm hoping that you all are on the edge of your seats, in tuned, engaged, and anticipating a discussion that is not just, interesting, but one that leaves impact, because that's what community service does. So while our panelists take a seat, I will just begin to give you an overview of what this discussion is about and how it will proceed. So the panel discussion, simply put, will be moderated by myself, and our panelists will be given 3 minutes each to discuss and share their contribution to community service, how their organization or themselves have played a very important role in executing and giving in that field. Following such, you guys will be given the lifetime opportunity to ask questions, to hear about the experiences in more detail by going to the mic in the audience, and we're also checking in live on YouTube with the chats. So don't forget your online peeps, drop some comments in the chat right now if you're following, all right? Love that. One moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my dearest apologies. Our esteemed panelist is none other than Mr. Don Malone, the program director from the United States Peace Corps. So Mr. Keith Battles is not with us today, but we are still blessed to have Mr. Malone in the house. So give us a welcome for Mr. Malone. Excellent. All right, Peace Corps. Not a problem. So we're moving straight into the panel discussion, and we'll be giving each panelist an opportunity to share about their experience and their organization's contribution to community service. The question and answer segment will be where you pose your questions, and then you can have a very, very engaging discussion about what's shared. Let's get straight into it with Ms. Nancy Pincus, the Executive Director for the Council of Voluntary Social Services.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And thank you very much for inviting the Council of Voluntary Social Services. Sorry about that, I was just checking the mic. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for us to pick up where Mr. Paulton Gordon left off when he spoke about the community service that is entrenched in the curriculum of the UTech, which I think is invaluable in developing a whole generation of Jamaicans that understand the power of volunteering. And I just wanted to pick up where he left off and just give you some statistics and some metrics about the power of volunteering. There was a very recent report undertaken by a large global volunteering organization which speaks to the fact that approximately 862 million individuals over the age of 15 perform one form of volunteer activity every month. This is worldwide. Approximately 6.5% of working age persons engage in some form of volunteering activity, and 14.3 do some kind of an informal volunteer activity. And I would hazard a guess that if we did a similar kind of survey across Jamaica, that the informal volunteering activities would grossly exceed 14.5, because I'm confident in how Jamaicans behave. We're very community oriented, and everybody without even knowing it is often engaged in some kind of an interaction in their community and volunteering their time, their efforts, and their skills. So there was just one other aspect I just wanted to have the opportunity to speak to, is volunteering in a more formal setting has its benefits, and I just wanted to elaborate a little bit about the power of volunteering. You see the numbers, you understand how many people volunteer. This COVID-19 PSOJ collaboration with the Jamaica Defense Force, the police, the private sector, and several civil society organizations had a tremendous impact on how we managed to mitigate against the impact of COVID. 93,000 beneficiaries, 60 communities, 72,000 volunteers, and 200 million Jamaican dollars were raised through that initiative. But further to that, I think there were lessons learned that we all need to move forward from that COVID experience. We had the opportunity to mobilize, to collaborate, and demonstrate the power of volunteering in this slightly more formal, organized setting. But the power of volunteerism within civil society, which I often like to call the third sector, because it bridges a gap between governments and communities and people. It builds bridges, builds relationships between communities, government, and importantly, development stakeholders. Another important aspect is that through volunteering in a formal organizational setting, you can advocate through the power of organizations and shape your own development. You can take part in your community, and by taking part in your community, you're scaling up and taking part in your country's development. Partnering with government volunteers ensures more responsive outcomes. meaning they're sensitive to what's happening on the ground. The nature of a government entrenched in it is that they cannot understand who the most vulnerable portions are, how to reach them, but community-based organizations can. So I just wanted to leave with you today how important it is to take part in your communities, and there is power in volunteering, and never forget that. Thank you.
Mrs. Shamna Dickens Phillips will now share from Bridgeview Foundation.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Those in the audience and those online, I want to thank Mr. Parlton Gordon for giving me this invite to share my experience about volunteerism. I'll give you a little background about myself and then about my foundation. As I said, my name is Shamna Dickens Phillips. I was born and raised in Maryland District, St. Andrew. That's about 12 minutes from Papine Square. I went to RNI. I've worked several years as a receptionist before I migrated to the United States. We started doing community work, well, through my dad from way back in 1985. In 2019, I get this drive to basically start something again. So we started out as a Dickens family. And then as I continued to mobilize, especially those who migrated from the community, I realized that the event keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So in 2021, I registered my foundation in New Jersey as a 501c3, and I continue to network and bring back help to the community. What's fulfilling is the time and sacrifice that you have put into it, and you see the gratefulness on the kids' face in the community that you're bringing help to uplift their lives. I remember our motto at Bridgeview Foundation is bringing meaningful change. I believe that the community can be a better place if we all work together. And our vision is bridging the gap between the parents and the children in the community through educational assistance, recreational activity, and community development. So each year when we are a board now, 7 board members, none of us get paid, we all do it free of charge, just to help uplift the community. So each year when we plan, we outreach to those who migrated from the community, we seek resources, put out our plan, and I've noticed a steady growing and growing and growing. In 2020, everybody in the audience know how it's important for a female to celebrate her 40th birthday. I actually put off my 40th birthday during the height of the pandemic to come back and serve my community, where the kids didn't have any tablets, no laptop, nothing to log on to the internet. And that year, we gave away 27 tablets, over 300 school bags to the needy. The kids come, we do a little recreational activity, bouncy houses, bullback riding, and we interact. And when you see the gratefulness on the kids' face, they didn't know where they're gonna get a tablet, a computer. So that's what drives me. I put out, well, now my team, because we are an organization, we do this selflessly each year. Plan our vacation around the back to school event where we give back to the community, just to uplift the community. In 2021, we opened a homework center in the community where all the kids can come and access the internet. And thanks to Flow Jamaica Foundation, they came on board and grant the internet. I forget, Food for the Poor Jamaica, where we present our case to them. And we could network and help the vulnerable. They came on board and help us in that department. So I just want to give a shout out to Food for the Poor Jamaica. We continue to grow and give back where it's necessary. And I must say it's a tiring experience, but fulfilling experience, knowing that I'm doing something to help uplift others.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Shamma Dickens Phillips. Now to Mr. Dan Malone from Peace Corps.
Thank you. Do I need to push the button?
No. Press it. Press it. Bring it closer to you. Bring it closer to you.
Can you hear me now? Good morning, everyone. As you said, my name is Dan Malone, and I'm representing the U.S. Peace Corps. I am currently the program manager for their agriculture project. How many of you have ever heard of the Peace Corps? A few of you? So Peace Corps was started in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy. There was a famous quote you may recognize where he asked, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." And that's what launched the U.S. Peace Corps, which is a U.S. government-based service organization that allows American volunteers to go serve overseas for 2 years in a number of different areas, from health to economic development to education to agriculture to environment. And so for my experience, I actually grew up in Papua New Guinea on the other side of the world. And when I was about 10, way up in the Western Highlands, I met 2 young women, American women, who were up there, and it turned out they were Peace Corps volunteers. And that was way back in the early 80s. And so I'd always remembered Peace Corps, and I was really fascinated by it. I returned to the States, went to university, and as I was doing that, my older sister joined the Peace Corps and spent 2 years in Ghana, West Africa. I was able to spend 5 weeks with her in the mid-90s, and I was really impressed by what she was doing. She had made a lot of new friends, she had learned a new language, and it was just an amazing experience for her. So after finishing university, with a degree in political science of all things, I joined the Peace Corps and was invited to serve in Jamaica as a health volunteer. And so that's really what started for me, the Volunteer Service Organization. I was able to serve in Westmoreland for 2 years with the health department, and then I extended my service by another 16 months to work here in Kingston with Peace Corps staff. So why did I do it? There was a number of reasons. First of all, I wanted the adventure. I wanted to meet new people, learn new skills, and I wanted to contribute. So first of all, volunteering feels good, and that's a good thing to do, right? So you're contributing to something, but you feel good about contributing time. I would say time is one of the most valuable commodities, so giving that is really important. Also, eventually you'll finish your university degree and you'll end up working, and I can tell you, volunteer service looks really good on your resume. You know, employers love to see that you've done something like that, and if it's between you and another candidate without that, you would probably get that position. So there's a lot of good things to do for it. And again, for me, I've been fortunate enough in my program not only to serve the U.S., but all of the work I've done here, actually for the last 21 years, works towards Vision 2030. And Vision 2030 is the place to live, work, raise families, and do business. I've been able to do 3 of those. I haven't started a business yet, but I do have a beautiful young daughter about to start at Campion First Forum. So you can see my volunteer service was supposed to be for 2 years, but it changed my life. And now I have lived in Jamaica longer than any other country, and Jamaica is more home to me than anywhere else right now. So it's been a really positive, valuable experience, and I hope the same for you.
Thank you to our panelists for giving us a bit of information, a brief background to their contributions to community service, how their company or themselves have, shaped and impacted lives through their dedication. I can attest that hearing directly from these individuals the impact or the things that they have done, it is just commendable and it's inspiring. One thing that it's most important to note that community service is not something that is separate and apart from us. We are community service. We are volunteerism. The world cannot move without the help of another. The world cannot operate unless we help each other. And as Mrs. Dickens-Phillips mentioned when she shared her theme, Bridging the Gap with Parents and Students, it reminded me of the UTech Students Union's initiative earlier in the summer called Teach the Youth. And that theme was Bridging the Gap, Rebuilding the Nation. And the essence of community service, simply put, is we are to do more than just benefit ourselves. We are to do more than just live for ourselves. Our simple actions can benefit, uplift, and engage and help someone else. It is literally a world where we need each other, and community service fosters that. So thank you so much again to our panelists for sharing. This is the utmost opportunity for you guys to now ask questions, share your thoughts, comments, suggestions, audience and online. Let's hear what you're thinking from our panelists, about our panelists. Do we have any questions in the building from the halls of residence? I'm seeing some executives from the Donald Farquharson Hall. Let me see if I spot any exec from the Hall B. Do you have any questions about how you can impact or even contribute to community service? All right, I'm seeing in the chat where Alice Sibbs is saying that she loves hearing about community service. Anybody else want to drop a comment? Yes, dear, come to the mic. This is a discussion, so we want to hear what you're thinking and engage with the audience.
Hello, everyone.
Good
My
morning.
name is Diane. My question is to each person on the panel. With respect to our being volunteers in your organizations, do you have a specific program for persons like us who want to come into your organization to volunteer? Or do we, as someone before said, have to use our initiative and find something to do? Or will we be occupied?
Excellent question. Our panelists?
Okay, I'd like to go first.
Lovely.
Yes, we do have opportunities for the students to come in our program, and that's why we partner with UTech to get help, because there's a need in the community, and through my organization, we're willing to partner with anyone to bring help to uplift the community. So we are networking with Mr. Paulton Garden, and he'll be sending out the students at different intervals to help us with kids who need help in whatever area they need help in.
So one way that the university, in partnership with companies, foster that opportunity for volunteerism is through the community service project module that we all are required to do. So you get the opportunity to engage with numerous companies per choice, and also those that are recommended and partners, that you can go into that foundation, that company, and work alongside them to assist in volunteering, in sharing, in helping, and uplifting.
Yes, but it sounds so vague.
It sounds so vague.
I mean, specifically, what would I be doing if I were to come to your organization?
Okay, well, our organization is registered in New Jersey, but we have a community program in Maryland, District St. Andrew, where we open up a homework center. Yes, to help the kids. So the kids will come in the evening, do their homework, do research, and everything. So what we do, we network with the university. We tell them what we need in terms of the student area, and they'll send us the fit to match the, yes. Okay, that's what we need. Okay.
Mrs. Nancy Pincus would like to share.
So CVSS is an umbrella organization. We have 130 members from a diverse sectoral representatives. We have health, we have education, we have persons with disabilities, various community groups. So we receive applications. We have a formal application. You indicate your interest, your availability of time. This program has sort of been on hiatus during COVID because we were not able to physically place. But it is something we really need to revamp and ensure that not only do we ensure a good fit, but you are rewarded. You have benefited from probably some training, and you are therefore also able to be of value to the organization that you are placed in. So this is something that needs to step up, but we encourage everybody to reach out to the CVSS. Our website is cvssja.org.
Excellent. I hope that answers your question. Great. So since we're in the spirit of asking questions, oh, lovely, Mr.
Yes.
Dan Malone.
So we're a little bit different organization. Obviously, you have to be a U.S. citizen to join Peace Corps. However, we do take interns, and we have a young man from UTech right now interning with us, and he's doing a lot of work on our branding, so helping us update brochures, documents, social media, a number of different things, and he's amazing. He's done so much for us. And again, so these are limited opportunities, but one of the first places we come for those is UTech.
Intern, is that different from a volunteer?
It's volunteering, so you're not getting paid. I think he gets a stipend for travel and that, but it's a work experience, so it's kind of like volunteering.
Yes, but yours sound more long-term, but this is for a 40-hour program. So does the Peace Corps offer anything for us that will be required to do the 40-hour program?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, do you have any more questions? I love that, the eagerness. Stay close.
All right, good morning. I'd like to ask, where can we check out the programs that you guys offer? If there's a website, anything like that?
So the question posed was, where could we find the programs or get in contact, right?
Yes, yes.
Excellent. So as Ms. Nancy would have shared, you can find the initiatives that CVSS do at cvss.org.
So there won't be a list of initiatives on our website. We have our member organizations, so you could peruse those and determine if something specifically interests you. But what we do is we place you, we then reach out to the organization and determine what their need gaps are and whether or not you would ideally fit them. So we have not, we might have historically pre-COVID, that precedes my time, but as far as I know, there have been no structured formal initiatives set out. It's very dynamic and it changes also. So if you visit the website and reach out to us by telephone or email, we can guide you further.
All right, thanks.
Okay, to get in touch with us, you'll have to go through your community service department, and I guess the administrative department will direct you on how you can volunteer with us. We also have a website at bridgeviewfoundation.org.
All right, thanks.
Great, great. Mr. Gentleman, we wanted to pose the question.
Well, it wasn't a question, it was more of a comment.
Well, we're unable to hear you. Could you go a bit closer to the mic?
I'm saying it wasn't a question, it was more of a comment.
All right.
I'm Tristan Anderson, by the way. Saying I felt inspired from the info that I was.
Well, one moment. We're not hearing you. Do you mind taking up the mic and just projecting? Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm saying it wasn't of a question, it was more of a comment. I felt a bit inspired. It brings me back to a film I've seen about 2 nights ago, I believe, called 13 Lives. We're in Taiwan, in the Nan Nak caves. 13 Thai soccer players were trapped in a cave along with their coach. And at the end of the film, I was checking the stats, and over 5,000 people volunteered from over 17 countries across the world. And it was they were able to get the 13 lives, the 13 people from the caves before it was flooded. And it flooded, as soon as they rescued them, it flooded for 8 months straight. So with the help of those volunteers, they were able to save lives. So I say this to say that I believe volunteerism is a very, very important and good thing, because you have no idea the lives it might impact on the people around you or in the world worldwide. You may never know. So that's about it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm hoping that you all are inspired and just excited to sign up, to be a part, to engage, because that is just one example of a formal, large-scale volunteerism where a group of 5,000 persons were able to save lives. But more importantly, your seemingly small contribution can impact and just transform lives of those around you. By engaging in community service, you're able to go to schools and homes and give back and give things that possibly you wouldn't necessarily have a need for now. You can assist somebody, uplift somebody, change their lives by helping, by lending and extending a hand. So thank you so much for sharing that. Do we have any other questions from the people in the building?
Before we go to the other question, I'd like to back up on what he said about the art of volunteerism. Each year, before I came on the ground, I would send out a note to the community people who want to volunteer. And what we'll do each year when we ship off our supply, no supplies are open until volunteer meeting night. And all the community members would come out in their numbers. And we sit and we explain nobody would get paid and everybody's remain in that meeting. After the meeting, on the day of the event, the community come out in their numbers to ensure that the kids are taken care of. So we could not have done it by ourselves. We need the community support, and that's where, in the heart of the community, if you can put the situation or the program to them and have them buy into it, everyone will come out and support it. So I just want to give a shout out to my community, showing the art of volunteerism, coming out in their numbers every year so that we can take care of the over 400 kids, no accident, everybody is secure, and they're just loving it and looking forward to the next event.
Job well done. Lovely. Lovely. Do we have any other questions? Excellent.
So I'm very inspired, really, and Miss here said something. She said that we must be community service, and that's really important. It's more than just doing. You know, as a child of God, when you're serving, you don't just do kindness, you be kind, right? You don't just do good, you be goodness. And that's a very key thing to understand when going into community service, right? So, and even when we serve people, we're actually serving God. And that's very pleasing to know that I'm doing something for people and God at the same time. So I really enjoy doing community service, to be honest.
Lovely. Give him a round of applause, guys. It's heartwarming to see that it's not just those who are on the stage or controlling or have curated the program that have interest in community service. It is heartwarming to know that the future leaders, the generation, the tomorrow leaders, the today leaders are interested in not just propelling themselves, but more importantly, propelling others on that journey. And that means that you have to be community service. So thank you so much again for that. I am seeing a question in the chat, and I believe this one is posed either to Ms. Alicia Williams or Mr. Paulton Gordon regarding the community service module. Excellent. So the question is, will the community service program be on a day with the modules joined together? So this student, Ms. Alice Sibbs, wants to know if the community service program that's offered is on a day which other modules are offered, and is it joined together?
Good morning again, everyone. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I reiterate the question so that I'm sure? Okay, so the person is asking if the module is offered at the same time they're volunteering? No?
No, they want to know if when they're to do the community service project, if it's just in regular school hours while other modules are being offered.
Okay, when you select an organization, you and your supervisor will determine the hour in which you come to the organization to volunteer. So if they will allow you to come on a Saturday or anytime in the evening, depending on the organization, you can go at that time. Or if it is in the day, then you will schedule the time that you will go around your classroom timetable.
Excellent.
Can you ask if the question is answered?
Yes.
Thanks.
Lovely. I believe that answers the question for Ms. Sibbs. Does anybody else in the audience have any questions about community service, the module itself, how it is offered at UTech, and or how they can contribute to it in general? All right. Not a problem. So I would love to firstly thank our panelists for sharing their insights on community service, their experience that they have gained, how they have contributed, and even more so the plans they have for more impact in Jamaica. I would also like to thank you all for the questions and for engaging and listening to this discussion. I'm hoping that the knowledge that we would have gained from hearing that the CVSS went to over 60 communities and had over 72,000 volunteers, raising about over $200 million to give back during the coronavirus pandemic. That would be inspiration enough to say, there's good being done in Jamaica, and I can join with that good. I'm hoping that the knowledge that Ms. Dickens-Phillips shared, that community service not only is a contribution to others, but it will shape your development. You can engage with your community in informal and formal community service acts, that will impact and inspire your decision to do community service. Moreover, the story that Mr. Dan Malone shared when he was just 10 years old in Papua New Guinea, when he met the United States Peace Corps personnel, that inspired a chain reaction of executing and doing and living a life of community service, that this also will curate that same experience where you have met each and every one of these panelists and you have heard their experience. You're now inspired to do, to live, to be community service. So thank you so much, and thank you to our panelists for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me. I will now hand over to our moderator of the event for the other lovely engaging activities that will follow. So stay tuned.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hopkins. That was amazing. That was actually an excellent panel discussion. I don't know about you in the audience and those online, but that was very enriching for me. And it did feel a little nostalgic for myself as well as a community development officer. I do have a similar kind of story about how I've gotten into the service of giving back to community. I was very young as well. I was young, and it was my father who came to me one day and said, "There's a youth group across the road, you don't want to join it." And I'm like, "Youth group? All right, this is interesting." But going to the youth group, engaging in their activities was my first step into community service and community development. It opened my eyes as a young girl at that time to want to actually give back, to share. It broadened my horizon, and it allowed me to recognize and become aware of, persons in communities with varying challenges, communities that have priority needs that need to be met, and the work that is being done by different community organizations. And with that, I should say, I am now fortunate to have culminated all of my skills and all of my informal service that I've been doing over the years into a formal way. I was offered a job at the Social Development Commission, and when I went for the interview and talking to the interviewers at the time, and to hear their passion, just like our panelists, about community service and about giving back and about the time that they have spent, I was like, I think I'm in a good place and I really want this job. Because doing community service for a while, sometimes it doesn't feel as gratifying. It doesn't feel as, encouraging when you do go into some situations and you realize just how much work there is to be done. And if we don't come together, in our numbers to serve our communities, it becomes a very daunting task. But as we collaborate and we come together and we try to, see through our vision for community service and empowering and lifting our communities, it becomes easier and opportunities open up, not for only yourself as someone who is giving back and serving the community, but you see that you are able to bring opportunities to other persons, you're able to share information, you're able to empower different people within the community, and it will create a ripple effect. And I think for myself, that was the biggest impact for me, is the ripple effect that it creates when I can, bring something that serves someone, even one person, even a child, and to see the gratification on their face, to see how it has impacted them, and for them to now share their experience with others and to enlarge the network. It is really the best part for me. It's really the best part of my service to community, is the impact that it really has. And UTech is really driving that mandate to ensure that community service is at the heart of what you're doing, and it is impacting not only the communities that you are going to volunteer your service in, but it's impacting you as a person. It is allowing you to become aware of your environment, to become aware of what it is that you can give back as an individual through your own time and your own service. So thank you again. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you to the persons who, spoke before our panelists. It is really very enriching. So at this time, we have a little entertainment for you. We can't all work and no play. And I'm very big on entertainment, and entertainment as another aspect to give back to community. So we have a little entertainment treat at the moment. But before we do our entertainment, so we have to give away 2 prizes, of course. And as your humble moderator, I would like to give away 2 prizes. I think Educom has been so grateful to bless us with some certificates. And if there's anybody down there in the audience that would like to get a prize, you can answer a question. All right, so I'm going to pose a question right now. And if you feel like you have the answer, just come to the mic and let us see if you are the winner. All right? Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready to win something? I mean, Educom has a lot of good services, especially for our students. So I think this is a nice time for you to, vie for a prize. All right, so I have our first question. Anyone, and this is for our students, preferably our new students. Does any of our new students in the audience, can you tell me, when was University of Technology established? This is a 2-part question, so it's not so easy. When was the University of Technology established? And who is the director of our Department of Community Service? Anybody in the audience? I mean, don't be too quick to run to the mic. Can anybody give me the answer? When was the University of Technology established? For those who are monitoring the online platform, if we do get the answer on the online platform, we will reserve that prize for that person as well. So anyone? Anyone? Come on, people. This is the organization that you're going to be with for the next 4 years. So you need to know a little bit about the history of this organization and what it's been. Yeah, man, we have a nice young lady.
1958, and Mr. Paulson Gordon.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much. Give her a round of applause, man. Everybody else down there looking. Of course. Thank you so much. So just check with our sponsors after, and we'll ensure that you receive your prize. So without further ado, we are going to ask our entertainment specialist. We have a special guest in the house. He's a saxophonist. I'm very big on this instrument. I think it's an underrated instrument, but it's a very lovely, very sultry instrument, and I'm excited about this piece. From Mr. Marlon Johnson. Give him a round of applause, please. Oh, wow. No, man. Mr. Marlon, that was amazing. Don't you think that was so amazing? That was really good. No, man, give him another round of applause. The lung capacity. That was really very good. So please, you can book Mr. Marlon for your events, parties, your anything. I think a nice addition, entertainment specialist like that would bring the spice to any event. Thank you again, Marlon. All right, so at this time, we will be having an award ceremony. And this award ceremony is in recognition of some of the outstanding work that has been done in the voluntary service by some of our students. All right? So, firstly, we want to recognize a young lady who will be receiving an award for being the most outstanding community service person or student. Her name is Miss Gressel Russell, and we will ask Mr. Gordon at this time to present the award to Miss Russell. All right? Please give Miss Russell a round of applause. This student went above and beyond with her community service. As you know and have been mentioned before, the community service, the new students are required to give 40 hours. This young lady gave 272 hours of service long after she had given her 40 hours, and I think that is more than commendable. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that she must have been impacted by this organization. She must have been impacted or moved or felt inspired to go beyond her her required amount of service hours to give even more to this organization. And for that, the University of Technology and the Department of Community Service would like to recognize this outstanding volunteer. All right, thank you so much.
A lot of these CSP students are actually in different parts of the island, and they have volunteered in different areas. I know one was in Maypen, one was in River. So some persons will be collecting on behalf of some of these students. All right. So at this moment, as we have been told, the recipient of the award is not here, but there will be a student here to take it on her, to receive the award on her behalf. Yes, please give a round of applause. This award should be presented to Miss Gressel Russell for her outstanding community service. Thank you so much. The next award that will be presented is to Miss Sharice Wright, and this is for her remarkable contribution that she has made while completing her community service hours at the Maypen Primary School. And again, the recipient of this award is not here, but we will have a student representative receive that on her behalf. This award will be presented by none other than Dr. Nicole Cameron. Thank you so much. Our third recipient, which is also not here, that award goes to Miss Shireen McLeod Tate. She is receiving recognition for remarkable contribution that she has made while completing her community service hours at the Darliston SDA Kindergarten School. This award will be presented by Miss Alicia Williams. And it will also be received by our student representative. All right, so during the summer, the new students were asked to enter a video competition. And this video competition, which is a short video competition,
was to capture themselves volunteering over the summer, in some capacity or the other. We did get some submissions, and our winner for this video competition, her name is Lakendra Sawyers, and she is going to receive a cash prize from one of our sponsors, AIM Financial Services. But before she comes up to receive her award, we're going to ask our media team to pull up her video on our screen.
Volunteering, unlocking your purpose and passion through service. Service is the action of helping or doing something for someone else. I have been engaging in acts of volunteerism for many years of my life. It has always brought me great joy. One of my favorite forms of volunteerism is tutoring and catering to the youth in and around my community. I truly believe children are the future, and that ensuring the development and protection of children is part of my purpose. Here are a few instances of me interacting with the children in my community.
Careful not to paint. Rub it onto the paint again. Paint on this side. Onto your paper, alright? Do this, yeah, do this. Straight one hand. Like this, please. Yes, yes. Like this, yes. And then next side, switch hands. Like this, please. Yes, like that. Lovely. Alright, the two jumping jacks, jumping jacks? Yes. One, two. Lovely. Alright, we're ready. Alright, I want everybody in between these two cones.
My name is Lakendra Sawyers. What I enjoy about volunteering are the smiles on the children's faces and the feeling of accomplishment when I've made a breakthrough with them. It can be something as simple as getting them to write and spell their names properly, or, for the more troublesome kids, getting them to open up to me and eventually seeing a change in their behavior. I also love the fellowship that is created among the members of the community. To know I am a part of something so positive, making an impact, I will hold near and dear to my heart. The power of volunteering, unlocking your...
Yes, no man, don't be shy. Give her a round of applause. That is very commendable. That was Lakendra Sawyers, the winner of our community service video competition. Miss Lakendra? And she will be presented with a gift certificate from AIM Financial Services. I don't know about you, but that video really warmed my heart. It did warm my heart. I do especially love volunteering with children, so that is very, very commendable. Thank you so much. Give her another round of applause. Miss Lakendra Sawyers. All right, we do have a runner-up for this video competition. Her name is Akelia Dennis, and she will also be receiving a gift voucher from another one of our sponsors, Winchester Dental. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if her video presentation is here, but if it is, oh yes, it is. So we will indulge.
Power of volunteering. Power of volunteering. Unlocking your purpose and passion through service.
Hello everyone, I am Akelia Dennis. I enjoy volunteering because it makes me feel more useful to society. It allows me to gain confidence, gain skills, and work experience. And above all, it gives me a sense of freedom.
So I went to the John Austin Hawley School in Penance, Clarendon to help with the registration of new students for the upcoming school year. What I did was to go through each student files, take notes of their names, parents' names, and telephone numbers, along with their outstanding documents they are yet to submit in order to be fully registered for the school year.
Thank you. Give her a round of applause. These two students obviously knows that giving back does look good and feel good. Miss Akeelia Dennis will now be receiving a gift voucher from Winchester Dental and also a gift basket from New Papine Pharmacy. Remember, new students, I told you, go and check out Papine. New Papine Pharmacy, they have all of your student needs right over there. And they are now starting off Miss Akeelia for the new school term. All right. So before we move on, we're going to ask AIM Financial Services. This is one of our sponsors. They're actually here to speak a little bit about AIM. And for the winner of the video competition, she has received from them a gift, a cash prize of $20,000. And so we invite the representative from AIM to just address us briefly.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your orientation week. Going to university is a really pleasurable experience, and of course, I hope that you won't waste away your time. I mean, it's not all about learning, but you're supposed to have some fun too, but always prioritize learning first. Miss LaKendra Sawyers made a really great video presenting community service, and of course it's always amazing to give back to your community, and she herself received something for her giving back to her community and her presentation, and she really captured everything she needed to in her presentation. So of course, $20,000 is a lot of money. Hopefully, Ms. Sawyers, you use it towards your tuition or something that's beneficial. And I just want to talk a little bit about AIM Financial. I don't want to disrupt your orientation week too much, but I want to let you know that we have loans for any purpose. We have loans from $20,000 up to $3.3 million. We have personal loans, business loans, motor vehicle loans, vacation loans, any education loans, and just about anything. And we have a loan officer with us right outside the auditorium. As soon as you step through the door, we're on the left, and we'll be happy to talk to you and explain everything you need to know. We have some flyers. Of course, you can give your parents. And I just hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Congrats again, Miss Lakendra Sawyers, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you so much. That was AIM Financial Services. All right. So before we wrap up our award ceremony and move into our medical demonstration, I would like to note that AIM Financial Services had a jingle competition, and we would like to recognize Miss Kristen Francis. That's Miss Kristen Francis. Is she in the house? Oh, you are supposed to speak about our jingle. Okay. All right. So there was a little bit of a miscommunication, but AIM Financial Services has a jingle competition. And she is going to come and address that at this moment. All right. So we are having a little bit of a technical issue. We are going to move into our medical demonstration, and when we get the information pertaining to the other competition from AIM, we will be sure to share that with you. So at this given moment, we invite Shore Medical and its team, and they're going to be doing a first aid response demonstration for us this morning in the auditorium. This is exciting, and I hope everybody online is still with us. I know that the time is winding down, but please bear with us as we wrap up our program. Shore Medical, please give them a round of applause for being here.
Good morning. Morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. All right, I am Dr. McDonald. All right, we have Cassine, Steve, Cornell, and Latoya, and we're going to be showing you just a little brief 10-minute demonstration of some of the things you can do in a medical emergency. Now, a medical emergency has a certain definition medically, but for many persons it means a lot of different things. I was at work 2 o'clock one morning, and a gentleman came in to me with his girlfriend, and they had a medical emergency. What do you think they came in for?
Pregnancy?
Well done, well done. The gentleman thought he had gotten his girlfriend pregnant, and that was a medical emergency for him. Well, at Short Time Medical, if it is a medical emergency for you, it is a medical emergency for us. But by definition in medicine, a medical emergency is an acute. An acute means a short-term event that threatens life or limb. In other words, somebody's life is about to expire or they are about to lose a limb. That, of course, is how we define a medical emergency. So for today, when we look at a medical emergency, the assumption is the person who is on the ground, and we're going to be using several assistants that are living and that are non-living. So you will see the medical dummies on the ground. In medicine, we call them mannequins, just like the ones you see in the store, and we're going to be using them to demonstrate 3 scenarios. These are scenarios that you would often see. Now, you have to understand in medicine, there are many different medical emergency scenarios. So just let me ask for 60 seconds, just give me some examples of medical emergencies that you know, quickly. Accident, like a motor vehicle accident or any other. Cardiovascular, big word. Heart, yeah? So like a heart attack. Somebody dropped down on the ground with chest pain. Seizure, boy, that is a very common thing that we see in public places. Somebody dropped down shaking and people don't know what to do. Anaphylactic shock, boy, another big word. But that simply means an allergic reaction. So people eat peanuts, shrimp, chocolate, all sorts of things. They're allergic to it, and all of a sudden they have difficulty breathing, or they have these big rashes start coming out on them skin. Say that again. Tell me what she said. Drowning. Choking. Yes, yes, yes. That's a big one. So you see that a lot when you go to restaurants and different places. Persons are choking. Yes, that's a huge one. Drowning. That's what you said? Yes. Drowning is a big one, and I want to talk about that. Yes. Asthma attack. Boy, that's very common in Jamaica, yeah? Asthma is extremely common in Jamaica. Say that again. Poison and burns. And what? Say what? Stings. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Stings, like bee stings. So poisoning and burns and stings. Stings will come under, of course, it may be under the anaphylactic shock. Somebody said that. That's how you see it. An allergic reaction to the bee sting. Poisoning is something that is very common. More common in children, though, when you see children ingesting things like bleach. So people put bleach in chubby buckle. And you know what happens? Children drink it thinking it's something to be consumed. So this happens a lot of times. And he also said burns. Burns, again, we see a lot of houses being burnt down in Jamaica. Or sometimes children just play with fire. It tends to happen in children more. When it happens in adults, it's usually a different type of accident. This is what we're going, so all the emergencies that you pointed to, and I'll allow 2 minutes, we're going to run through something here for like 3 minutes, and I'll allow 2 minutes after for you to ask questions if allowed. I think I've used 3 of the 10 minutes so far, watching the watch. It's so important that you understand that you'll see generally 3 scenarios that you need to know. What I want you to remember to help yourself is a little mnemonic. DRS, doctors, ABCD. Is that hard to remember? DRS stands for doctors, ABCD. Where the D means danger. Danger. All right, drop for me, Cassie. Everybody get in position. She dropped down on the ground. You're running to look at her. The first thing you must do is to ensure that there's no danger. So you look, because you see him drowning. You see what happened with the 2 brothers in Clarendon. You see what happened in many cases in Jamaica. You go to try to help somebody from drowning, and what happened? You drown. So if there, water means danger, so don't go in there. Some of the times you'll see a wire with electricity. Electrocution is one of the causes of burns. If the wire's there dangling, especially if you don't see anything flashing from the wire, but you don't know if it's live, you do not go. So if the scene is not safe, you don't go. That's why we say D. You must remember, doctors, D, A, B, C, D. We're going to drill it in you so that you remember, the scene is dangerous, please. We don't need 2 dead people, right? Even the ambulance staff, they work on the ambulance every day, and they're going into the communities, and by the time they get on the top of the roads, and many roads are like this in Jamaica, we have had this experience, and you hear, "Pow!" What is that? Gunshot. Them call me and them say, "Sir, we are gunshot." I say, "Come back." We call the police and send the police and the army first. It don't make any sense to go into the ambulance and it is shut up. Danger. Okay? The next thing that is going to happen is that you're going to go come Latoya, run to Cassine, ask her if she's awake, right? Go on the other side so that they can see, other side, right? Right? So she calls to her, so that R stands for responsiveness. You check if the person is responsive. Two scenario, they either answer you and say yes, hello, or them don't answer you. Or them answer you in a little way that suggests that them half dead, half alive. Yeah? But you might get something as well as you don't get anything. What you need to remember is that big S. Doctors, DRS, you must shout for help. No man is an island. You can't do it by yourself. This is why even in the police force, at least 2 police is going at a time. In the military, more than 1. This is why at least 2 persons must work on an ambulance. Cannot be 1. Must have a team, but sometimes we have even more. And our ambulance is usually 3 persons because we understand that. You shout for help. You call. And that shouting involves you calling your colleague, come over here, I have a patient who is not responding. At the same time, call the ambulance. In this case, it's going to be short-time medical, right? So you have to remember short-time. Worry less, live more. Call 906 SURE. You call the ambulance because what happens while you are about to stabilize the patient, the ambulance is on its way. Get somebody to use them phone call. Call the emergency services. Call somebody to call the ambulance even if you don't have a phone. But you have to call for help. Don't try to be a hero in this case. Yeah? Call. This is what the S is for. So many times repeating it, DRS. So you know danger, you check responsiveness, then you shout for help, okay? Here's the scenario. She saw her drop and she made an assessment that she never injured her neck because you know what happened? We were called recently, about 2 weeks ago for somebody who dropped off a 2-story building, bam, on the ground, right? My area of specialization is sports, so I see this every day. People get hit. I see it in boxing, cricket, football, all of these things where people get hit and they get C-spine injuries. There's 2 things you need to know because if you drop, what's your name, my brother? Tristan. If Tristan falls and he injures his neck and you come and move him badly, ever saw when people drop on the road in motor vehicle accident and you break his neck? That's Tristan for the rest of his life. That is just a critical thing. So the first scenario we're going to look at is where we assumed that there was no injury of the neck. So we're at DRS. She shouted for help. She's on the ground. And what now happens? She witnessed the fall. There is no injury of the neck. The next thing is A, B, C, D. A stands for?
How do you know that the neck isn't damaged? Or?
Excellent question. How do we know that the neck isn't damaged? Because we witnessed the event. We saw the person go down on the ground. If you never witnessed the event, like you just came into a room and saw them on the ground, or you witnessed them fall, once you never witness it, you have to assume that the neck is damaged. So if you come into the room and you never saw how that person fell, the assumption is, I wonder if they have neck damage. But if it is that you witness what happened, the person is in front of you, and then all of a sudden they just went unresponsive. So you're in the cafeteria eating, and all of a sudden your friend just slumped down on the table and said, I don't feel so well. You would have seen that. So you know there was no injury. So that's an excellent question. But if you never see it, you have to assume it because you don't know, right? Excellent. So she saw. So the next thing is A. Remove your mask, Cassine. So the next thing is A. Airway is where air comes into the mouth, goes through the mouth into the back of the throat, which we call the pharynx, yeah? Then it goes to the larynx, which is the voice box, down through the trachea, which is the windpipe, into the bronchi, and it goes into both lungs. This is the pathway to breathing. If anything blocks that anywhere, you will have trouble breathing. If you cannot breathe, you won't live. So if you don't have A for airway, you won't B for breathing, and you can forget C for circulation, which is where you're going to have a pulse. Let us make that clear. The airway has to be clear first. You know what is the best way to find out that the airway is clear? You ask the patient. So, right, we're going to put the dummy now on the sheet. And what we're going to do is that I'm just going to show you how we check the airway. The first way is to ask, hello, and that is why you check. If the person answers, if I say hello, what is it? Well done. Yeah, he's being realistic, but we heard a sound, right? And many times he might say, yes, yes, sir. If the person answers and answers clearly, the airway is patent, because you cannot speak clearly unless your airway is patent. So just check if them talking. If them not talking, then you have to actually check, right? So, Cornel, you're going to hold this mic for me while I check. So, remember, this is a person who never had a C-spine injury. So, go around a little bit there, Cornel. So, how we check is to look, listen, and feel. So, we check in airway, you will look, right? You will listen, and you feel. You actually look to see if there's anything in the airway. You will listen to hear sounds. You feel to see if there's anything coming and it is hitting your jaw, right? If you feel all of that and you hear clear sounds, you then look for breathing, which is the rise and fall of this chest. Come again. You're checking airway, you call to the patient, you're not getting anything, you're checking airway, you're looking. Now, you assume that the person has no C-spine injury. If it is that when you listen, you're not hearing anything, then you are saying, oh my God, I wonder if there is something blocking this airway. What you try to do is to help to clear that airway by actually grasping the patient's head, right? That we call, there's a maneuver now that we call a head tilt, chin lift. And by doing that, lifting the chin, tilting the head, remember this patient has no injury, no C-spine injury. What you will do is to help to move the tongue from blocking the airway. That is as simple as it will go for persons who are non-medical, but you have to understand, thanks Cornel, that as medical people, we do a lot of other things. We use suction, we use different airways to open the mouth to help, but that is as simple as it goes, okay? It is very easy for you to check somebody's pulse. So we look at airway, we look at breathing, and we look at circulation, yes? This is the big thing, the thumb. This is the wrist, right at the joint, and you put your hand here, and you check the pulse for circulation. A, B, C, airway, breathing, circulation. You want to know if they're breathing? Airway and breathing, look, listen, feel. Looking to see rise and fall of the chest, listening for sounds, feeling for air hitting the side of the face. Then you move on to check pulse. ABC. That is doctors A, B, C. Simple as that. A lot of times when you are finished with the patient, if the patient is unresponsive, them not saying anything, but you hear sounds like they're breathing and you feel a pulse, then you put them in what we call the recovery position. This is a very important thing. You know why? Because so many persons will have spit, saliva in the back of their throat, and if they lay down flat on their back and they swallow that saliva, that's what is going to kill them. Because it not only goes down into their stomach, but it goes into their lungs. Very, very important. So, after all of that, if the patient is unresponsive, and we have done doctors, and we do A, B, C, then we put them in the recovery position, right? Cassine, just lay down again beside Mr. Dummy for me. On your back, put your head up here, right? The recovery position is a very simple position. The first thing we do is to take the hand the furthest away from you and put it in a 90-90 position. The next thing we do is to lift this leg up, Cornell. Just lift the leg up, 90-90 position again, right? And then look at this very simple thing. You just take this hand and this leg and just roll the patient over like this. And that is called the left lateral position, recovery position. You know why you do this? If she has secretions in her mouth, it will drain out. She won't swallow it. She won't aspirate it. It won't go to her lungs and she won't die. Doctors, danger. Check if she's responsive. Shout for help. Check her airway, breathing. Check for circulation. You found all of that. You put her in that position until the ambulance reaches. Easy scenario. The second scenario, very quickly now, right, you can get up, Cassine, is that she falls like before, but you suspect a C-spine injury. Put dummy in the middle for me, right? And we see this a lot in sports. They drop from a height. Somebody drop from a height, and you call us, you call the short-time ambulance. Many persons, you know what they're going to want to do? To move them. Let us move them. Put them in the back of a car. Let's carry them to university hospital. And they start doing all sorts of things. Like, for example, Colonel, hold the 2 foot for me. Latoya, hold the mic. This is how we do it in Jamaica. Come, lift him up, lift him up. With the head hanging down like this. And you risk injuring the neck, breaking the legs, doing everything. This is not correct, okay? The patient fell down, patient falls. Remember, it is always the same. Doctor, DRS, you go, you ensure there is no danger. Once there isn't danger, you check if the patient is responsive, you call to them. Usually they say, yes, but my neck hurting me. You say, all right, stay right there. This is what we do. The first thing we do is somebody rushes to the patient, go Latoya, and what she does, right? Lay down right behind here, Latoya. No, we do all of that already, Latoya. We're going to manual inline stabilization now, right? So lay down flat, right? So what she would do is to rush to the patient, and you can rush to the patient and do that and just hold the patient's neck in place and tell the patient not to move. That's going to be your position until the ambulance comes. Just like that. You tell the patient not to move, right? Because the patient is talking. So you know that the patient have a patent airway, the patient is breathing, the patient has circulation. All the patient did was fall. You hold the neck, you call the ambulance. When we come, right? Deidre, come and help me with the mic. When we come, we are going to now come and we see in that position holding the patient. So we say to you, ma'am, how are you? She said, okay, but my neck hurting me. I said, fine. So you're breathing, right? Come around here, Deidre. Because she's talking, so she has a patent airway and she's breathing. The next thing I come to do immediately, right? Immediately is that I'm going to put on the C collar. So Latoya is maintaining stabilization. She's not moving. You notice she's not moving the hand. She's not helping me. None at all, because her role is to keep that neck stiff. I'm going to be putting on this C collar. So I put on the C collar on the patient. Latoya is still holding. She's not moving. Yeah? Then now I'm going to call for the backboard. So Steve is going to go on that side. Stay here a little bit, Steve. We don't want you to block them yet. Right? Cornell and Cassine come. And what we are going to do, 3 of our hands will be over, right? We're going to be turning the patient now, Cornell. So come, put the hands, right? Good. Right. Right. Good. And you under. So 3 hands over, 3 hands under. This is how we do it. And Steve to now come with the backboard. Right? So Steve is going to bring the board, right? Come all the way up. Put at 90 degrees. Perfect, Steve. And then now we're going to hold the patient and we're going to say, ready, set. We're going to roll together, Latoya. This is very important. Move the backboard for a minute, Steve. Let me just show them something. Just move the backboard for a minute and come out of the way. It is very important that when we roll, right, Latoya is going to roll with me, that we all roll together. Because if the neck rolls without the body rolling, this neck can break. And that's the end of the patient. So we just move Steve for demonstration purposes. So we're going to say, ready, set, roll. And then after roll, we're going to roll and we roll together, Latoya, just to show them. And then Steve come back. So hold on, Steve. So ready, set, roll. So this is how we would roll, right? All right. Ready, set, back. This is how it's done. Sometimes you see us probably taking some time. And we say, wait until we come. This is because we're protecting the neck. Come up a little bit more the backboard, Steve. So we say, ready, set, roll. And Steve come all the way under with the backboard, all the way under. And then we say, ready, set, back. And the patient is put on the board. This is how you put the patient on the backboard. Come out of the way a little bit, Steve. Latoya continues to hold on to the head. She never lets go. She never lets go. We put her on the head blocks, right? Head block number 1, she's not letting go, okay? She never lets go. No matter what happens, she's protecting the neck. She's protecting the patient's life. Because look at this. If she ever lets go and this neck moves out of place, it can be trouble. So she's protecting the patient's life. No matter what happens, She's holding on. I'm putting on the head block. Okay? Then now, I'm putting the strap over his forehead, right? Then, strap the patient for me. So you ask them, Latoya, still holding on. Right? Still holding on. Just strap them. And I like what is happening here, because this happens a lot when we're in the field. For example, you have the patient here, and this is going to do in the V style, Steve. Hold on. The strap is lost underneath the board. And you say, what are we going to do? You know, just yank the strap out or lift the patient up. You come back over, hands again, Cornell, hands again, Cassine, right? Similar to how we do it, right? Steve, you hold the board, right? Latoya, you hold the head, and you're going to lift the board, and we say, ready, set, lift, take out the straps, right? And then we go back again, yes? So it's very important that that is done to ensure, right, that happens. And we have another strap. Okay, now we found this one. All right? And we strap the patient. We have the options of strapping arms in or leave out. If the patient is responsive, we can leave the arms out. If they're unresponsive, we can strap the arms in. It's up to us, right? And then Steve, and finish strapping the head for me. Yeah. And so we strap the patient down and we take the patient off. Finally, right, in wrapping up, and they would lift the patient and take them off. Finally, in wrapping up, some of the times when you have the patients, you will have no breathing, no airway, and you have to clear the airway. We spoke about that before, no breathing, and you have to give them what we call breaths, and you will have no pulse, and you will have to use two things, either a defibrillator, right? Run for the defibrillator for me, Cornell, or you'll have to use something called an AED. This is the real one. So we have these on our ambulances. We carry them to events. So D, A, B, C, D. D stands for defibrillator. This is called an AED. This is the real one that we use, ready for anybody who intends to drop down and collapse today. But please don't do it, right? There is one now that we also use, right, called a defibrillator, where this one is working here, right? It's now on, right? See the screen come up. This one allows us to actually deliver real shocks to the patient, which we have done. I've done several times in my life, had the opportunity to actually shock a patient who had passed totally out, and she actually came back to life. It doesn't happen very often, but I've seen it happen a few times, and I've done it once. This one, right, the AED, or this one, is supposed to be able to be used by everybody. If it is that you get no pulse at all, no cardiac activity, the heart is not going, then I don't know if the cameras can see, but it is clearly shown. You attach the AED to the person, you press power on, right?
If the patient is a child, press the child button. Apply pads as shown in the pictures. Apply pads as shown in the pictures.
Now, it is talking. The machine actually talks to you. I just wanted you to hear it talking. It tells you exactly what to do, where to apply the pads, and then it tells you when to shock. Okay? should be present in all public places. For our purposes, you won't be doing this, but we use this instrument called a bag valve mask to actually put on the patient, right? And we use it to help us for the patient whenever the patient needs, if they have no airway and no circulation. Hopefully, if that happens and you stabilize the patient, you put them in the left lateral position, we would have arrived. I am encouraging everybody here to do something called BLS, Basic Life Support. BLS is where you will be able, we couldn't demonstrate BLS today because we couldn't do that in 10 minutes, but it's where you would learn to do CPR. In other words, if the person has no pulse and the person is not breathing, you're going to have to use that device, the bag valve mask, or use a pocket mask to breathe into the person's mouth. For every 2 times you breathe, you pump the chest 30 times. And that is something I encourage everybody to learn because it is called Basic Life Support, BLS. Just remember again, doctors A, B, C, D. D, ensure there is no danger around the patient. R, go to the patient and check responsiveness. If the patient is talking to you, they are responsive. If they are not, they are unresponsive. They are unresponsive, shout for help. If you witness the fall and they never had a cervical spine injury, check for airway, breathing by looking, listening, and feeling. Check for circulation by feeling the pulse. If they have all of that, you put them in the recovery position. If they don't have that, then this is where CPR comes in, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. That is where we have to start breathing for them and pumping the chest. This is why the shout for help is so important. You must call 906 SURE. Call your friend to call somebody to come and help. But you must call and you must call immediately. Finish. 1 or 2 questions and are gone. 1 question, and moderator, please tell me how many more questions I can check.
Well, we only have time for one question at the moment.
One. Boy, I wish I could hear you. Excellent question. This is a wonderful question. Moderator, thank you for allowing it. She asked, she demonstrated what we do if they're on their back. What should we do if they're on their face? That's a very good question, because if they're on their face and nose and mouth is into the asphalt, then what will happen is that they won't be able to breathe and breathe well. And it may be that on their way down, they would have sustained a C-spine injury. Because that happens. You see that a lot in sports, and they drop on their face. This is why it is so critical when you go and say to them, sir or ma'am, and they don't respond to you, right? Once there's no danger, because responsiveness comes after D, the next thing is what? S, what you do? You shout for help. When S comes, like when Latoya comes, she holds the neck, somebody holds the body, and we turn them over. But we have to turn them over. Yeah, you follow what I'm saying? But the aim is to ensure that we turn properly. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Which is why now, she said the right thing. Help doesn't come. So what do we do? So after you turn them over, you check, just the way I taught you, for airway, breathing, circulation. And you get it or you don't get it. So if they're not breathing and there's no circulation, that is when we start CPR, which means we start pumping the chest, and, nobody will do mouth-to-mouth on somebody who they don't know. You might not have a pocket mask. You might not have a bag valve mask at the ambulance people. So the only thing you can do in reality is to pump the chest. You have to start asking the moderator permission now, so I don't die.
Only because it's you, Miss Williams.
Okay. Oh yes, always, always. So that R, so DR, you always find out, because people lie on their face a lot, especially, again, my specialty is in sports, and I do just too much. Have you ever seen, most of you would have watched Contender and seen us by the ringside in boxing, and you see a boxer knocked out and he's down on his face. You go down there, you say, "What's up, boss?" And he say, "All right, man, I soon get to him talk." But he's down on his face, so you have to check responsiveness, yes. All right? Watch over me now so the moderator don't kill me. Say the person is injured. Good question. So here what he's asking, let's say if the person gets injured, like a limb, like a hand or a foot, or a cut during a fall, what do we do? You see, if it is not a catastrophic hemorrhage, which means they're not bleeding out to die, all we do is just to stop the bleeding by putting, so Latoya there or Cassie there would put some gauze on it and just tape it down and stop it. Or we would, catastrophic bleeding, then you use a tourniquet. Suppose the bleeding from down here, you tie off up here. A gentleman came into Short Time a couple of weeks ago, got a gunshot over a neighboring community. Short Time is at 10 Trafalgar Road in New Kingston, just down the road. The police carried him over there, and we saw blood the man's foot was here, and we saw blood shooting up in the air like a waterfall. What we had to do was to tie this foot off, tight, to stop the bleeding. So you have to treat the catastrophic hemorrhage. Or or they will die. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Moderator.
You're most welcome.
Right.
All right. Please give Short Time Medical a big round of applause. We have to always remember to show our appreciation for our medical teams because they are essential to communities, and the service that they offer is definitely invaluable. Thank you once more. All right, so at this time, I will be turning over to the Students' Union, and I will be inviting the President of the Students' Union, Mr. Tavoy Barrett. Tavoy Barrett, are you here? Oh, there you are, sir. He's been very active from he's been here this morning, So for the new students that your student union is an active body. And I'm actually pretty excited. I'm not a UTech student myself, but I'm interested to know what is this interactive session about and if I can interact in this session. All right, Mr. Barrett, over to you.
All right, morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. We've been sitting for a very long time, and I know that it's comfortable, but we're going to get you guys up for a little bit. We're going to be doing a quick presentation, nothing too long, like 2 minutes, about a student's perspective of community service, especially from the Students' Union, and then we'll be playing a game. But just before that, I'm going to just scooch over a little bit and give Miss Wyoming Hopkins, our VP PR, the mic, and she'll do a quick vibe check. Let's make some noise for Wyoming. Woo!
Greetings, greetings. Can I get everybody to stand up, please? Up, 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 up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. I'm going to do something my pastor do. And sometimes I don't like when I do it, but it's needed. Stand up. Stand up. Mr. Sir with the bag on your lap, stand up. No, take a seat now. Take a seat, please. Everybody just take a seat. Just take a seat. Nobody stand up. Take a seat. Can I get some music? Can DJ want a track? Can I get some audio? No? Not a problem. Me can make my own beatbox. Stand up. Stand up. Can I get some stand up? Hey, hey, just stand up. Everybody just stand up. Yeah, man. Give me a quick stand up. Quick stand up. Quick stand up. Give me a beat. Yeah. Hey. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Right there, sir. Right there, sir. Give me a beat. Wait, mimic it. Yeah. Come down here, sir. We need to interact with the audience. Come on. Say, yeah, When me say community, you say service. Community, 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 community. Yeah, when me say community, you say service. Community, 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 community. All right, on the beat, don't lose it. Me say, me say, When I say give, you say back. Give, 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 give. All right, community, 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 community. Pull up there, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. I can't ask the residents, people in the place, and I be daddy. I can't UTech nights in the place and I be a daddy. No, man, I expect it partially from some freshers and freshettes. But the UTech nights, them I really know how full legacy stay. Birthplace of greatness. I can't explain under the behavior. When me say community, you say service. Community, community. When me say community, you say service. Community, community. Community, community. When I say give, you say back. Give, 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 give. All right. Me like that. Vibe, wanna shake up, right? Let's have one last thing for the come. Make sure everybody dip on them P's and Q's. The night is about to start. We want 2 persons. Run out from the audience. Run out hard, fast. Usain Bolt style. Or better yet, Sharika, Jackson, and Shelly and Fraser style, because they are UTech nights. Wanna run out now? Asafa Powell, one there. Right there, sir. Yes, Joel. Love that. Men, love. The Bible says, young men, I call upon you because you are strong. Love that. So I want you to do me a quick favor. That's a very quick favor. Want to know, Flary? No, what you know, sir? What you know? I can't dance. I can do about, listen, we don't judge. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, shoulder. I have 0 coordination too. Shoulder, shoulder. Come on, vibe. We're going to cheer them on. UTech night style. Cheer them on. A quick shoulder bounce because we must, the same energy what the dancers and the union ravers come out with, we must mimic that energy when we're going to people, when we're interacting with persons in the community, for them to feel welcome, for them to feel vivaciously engaged in our activities. So here we're going to do. Let's have a kick. Shoulder. No beat. Ready? We're going to do. You ready? That works. Yeah. Shoulder. Come in, audience. You get them a beat now. Get them a beat. Boom, 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 dum, 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 dum. Hear me say. Boom, 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 dum, 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 dum. Yeah. Keep it going. Boom, dum, 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 dum. All right. Let's a little shoulder shake. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. You can do it, man. Step and step. Step and step. Oh, you mean just step and step. Right there, sir. Step and step. With that bounce now. Step and step. With the bounce. Step and step. You have it. Step and step. Right there, sir. Step and step. On the spot, more on a step and step. On the spot, just step and step. Audience, just step and step. Right there, sir. Just step and step. Some people step and step. Mama Suna just step and step. Right there, sir. Just step and step. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much, guys, for participating in a little icebreaker. Thank you so much. Love it, love it, love it. Now we hand over back to our president. So don't lose the vibe, you know. Don't lose it.
All right, thank you so much, Wyoming. And I'm making note of Joel and who's the other guy? What's your name? I remember your face, so we'll get you a prize later, all right? So Avian Shaw, who is our community service director, will now do a quick overview of the different initiatives and activities that we do from the Students' Union that you are able to participate in. And after that, we'll then go into a quick activity that won't take very long. And just a point to note, we have a few giveaways, a few prizes, so make sure you engage.
All right, thank you, Tavoy. Good afternoon again, Knights. As our president would have iterated, I am the Director of Community Service for the UTech Students' Union Council. A warm welcome to everyone. And I appreciate, firstly, I must commend the level of enthusiasm I've seen among the incoming students. I really, really appreciate it. Now, I will proceed to my presentation. And as you know, I am the USU Director of Community Service. But before I get into the overview of the projects we cover through the academic year, let's talk about, or rather, touch on the importance of community service, right? Firstly, number one, it is beneficial for both the beneficiary and the volunteer, right? So you volunteering not only benefit the community, but yourself, because our Ms. Williams, our outgoing community service coordinator, would have expressed that this helps with your stress levels and personal development, right? It also raises social awareness, correct? It also helps to improve volunteers' skills and enhance holistic development. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you guys to volunteer, because I remember volunteering. I volunteered at somewhere I will not disclose, but after volunteering or doing community service there, I not only developed some skills I would not have if I did not volunteer, but I also got employment at that establishment, right? It also creates networking opportunities and builds contacts. It does. And I'm speaking from experience as a member of the Kiwanis Club of Kingston. Volunteering or community service helps with networking, because you can never know which friends are who you'll meet on a project, right? Moving on. Now, the initiatives we cover under the Students' Union, under my portfolio. One is the Tag Drive, which is an annual initiative spans across a 1-week period in the first semester. The aim of this initiative is to solicit funds, which is then donated to charity or an organization of our choosing, one that is in need particularly. Secondly is the Teach the Youth program. It is a summer program which targets children between the ages of 6 and 18, which is a 3-week program, which we will we will touch on as we will elaborate on as I go forward. Also, the beach cleanup, which is our upcoming beach cleanup project with the International Coastal Cleanup, or rather Jamaica Environment Trust, which is on the 17th of September. And also, it is also good to note that annually our subcommittees, that is the faculty subcommittees, carry out different community service projects throughout the year. Now, Tag Drive. The Tag Drive project is one of our most traditional projects, I would say, which spans across, as I said before, 1 week. And throughout this week, different events are hosted with the aim of generating funds, which is donated towards a home or an organization, like a shelter, or to children that are in need or with disabilities, right? Now, towards the end of the weekly proceedings, or the week proceedings, there is the actual drive, where we drive across the country and solicit funds from the public, right? Now, it is important to note that Tag Drive, as I said, is a whole week event. We have different events throughout the week, and for the last 2 days, we have the rural and urban drive. Now, at the end of the drive, we have what we call an after party, which is usually held at a beach, right? The council will be reintroducing this initiative in the 3rd week of November. For the reach, through contributions rather of the public and community, we hope to impact at least one organization of our choosing. Now, please take a look at the monitor and you would be able to identify some pictures from Tag Drive in the past. As you can see, they're wearing their Tag Drive shirts, and that's something to look forward to. Yes, you will be receiving shirts. So Tag Drive is an event that in the past have been really anticipated by the Knights of the institution. It's a big thing, yeah? Next is Teach the Youth. Now, Teach the Youth is a summer program which was launched in 1999 as an opportunity of the UTech Students' Union Council to give back meaningfully to the social and academic development of at-risk children and youth ages 3 to 18 years old in and around the Papine area. This includes communities of Kintyre, Highlight View, Tavern, Augustone, and Sandy Park. Now, what happens is that we would partner with the HEART or the NYS program, and we get volunteers, which we train in the first week, and we send these volunteers to conduct different classes at different centers in the communities. So we establish different centers in the communities where we teach different subject areas to the different age groups. On these days, we also provide lunch. In the past, it would have only been lunch, but for this year, we had provide lunch and breakfast, right? After the 2 weeks of teaching, in the final week, we had the last day of the program, we had the sports day. Now, that is something that everybody looks forward to, yeah? The sports day is one that is fun-filled. On the sports day, we had free rides, free bouncer boats, and free food. Now, it is important to note that for the last 2 years, the Teach the Youth program wasn't hosted physically. The council reintroduced the program this year, which was executed on July 11 to July 29th. The 3-week program included classes of the following subject areas: math, English, arts, physical education, and HFLE, in addition to motivational talks and guest presentations, rather. The communities which benefited this year were Tavern, Highlight View, Kintyre, and Sandy Park. This program, it brings me pleasure to say that this program we were able to impact at least 200 children of these communities. And these right there, if you take a look at the monitor, are highlights from the Teach the Youth program, or last Teach the Youth program, rather. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Thank you very much for paying attention, and do have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day. I now hand over to Mr. Tavoy, which will lead you off into a game. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Avian. As the Students' Union, our motto is to serve and to represent, and it's so fitting that we are participating in this community service conference today because service is also a key part of our operation as a council and what we do as an organization. So we don't only serve students, but we also serve the communities around us and the communities that we exist within. All right, so let me see the hands of anybody here who has ever played Cards Against Humanity. All right, we have one person, two people, three. Cards Against Humanity, you ever played it before? No? So today we're playing Cards Against Humanity, but with a community service twist. So let me just explain it for those of us who haven't played the game before. You will see some prompts come up on the screen, and what you have to do is fill in the blanks of those prompts. I will then choose, well, you'll all get a chance to respond, and I will choose what I think is the funniest response. So you don't have to make it logical, but you need to make it funny. So the funniest response, I will choose those people as the winners of each round. Now remember, I have several prizes to give away, which may mean that we may have a prize for all people who are funny, or for the funniest thing I hear in the next about maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll use the first one as a test. All right, today I helped an old lady too. Who wants to give this one a try? All right, go again. No, it can be a sentence. To cross the road. Let's hear one more. Oh, you can use the mic in the middle there. You can use the mic so we can hear, because we're not hearing. There we go. Today I helped an old lady to do the dirt. So while we understand that logically we would help an old lady to cross the road, but it's funnier to say to do the dirt. All right, so now we're going to actually get going. Ready? I want to do another test run. Another test run? Called in sick at my voluntary job to to go where? Oh, interesting. Zimmy say volunteer, yeah? All right, so now we can get going. What we'll do is we'll use the mic in the middle, just so that everybody can hear. All right? Actually, Wyoming, is it possible if you could just maybe move around with the mic so others could, yeah, man. And I see our production people possibly bringing me the online folks. Right. All right, so now we get going. Ready? If you're ready, let me hear you say ready. Ready? Ready? All right, let's go. Volunteered at Dash to gain experience in.
volunteered at Taboo to gain experience in pole dancing.
It's volunteering.
Volunteered at the bank to gain experience in scamming.
All right, good one.
Anybody want to volunteer for the church?
Anybody else? No?
All right.
So
Next
these-
step is volunteering at the church. Okay.
These were actually two. Oh, one more.
Volunteered at the church to gain experience in missionary.
In
Okay.
There are some words that just shouldn't go together. And I'm going to just go ahead now and say that. I'm going to go with volunteered at the bank to gain experience in that one.
We don't condone it, but yes.
All right.
more.
Oh, we have one more?
Volunteered at the hospital to gain experience in being sick.
In bleed in? Oh. All right, good one. Good one. All right, so we have someone online. Volunteered at home to gain experience in sighting the pot my mom throwed. All right.
One moment, we have another one in the audience.
Volunteer at a bakery to gain experience in cooking.
Or volunteer at a bakery to gain experience in getting bun.
Is everything okay at home? All right. I'm sorry, Professor, but I did not complete my community service reflection because... Why you never done your reflection?
My mirror was broken.
Your what?
My mirror was broken.
He said his mirror was broken, no reflection there.
Ah, okay.
I was getting paid.
I didn't get that. I was what?
Getting paid.
It was no longer community service.
Anybody else? Oh, one more?
I'm sorry, Professor, but I did not complete my community service reflection because me did a choppy line.
You did a who?
Me did a choppy line.
All right, so for this round, I'm going to have to take because my mirror was broken. It took me a while to get it, but that's a good one. Good one. Let me see what people online are saying. Okay, so this one is actually true. I don't have light. That could be a valid reason. And someone said, the dogs ran me down the last time because something happened to my mirror. Valid, Travis. All right, jumped in dash to save my dash. Let's see if anybody online have anything. Anybody online?
We have one in the audience.
I jumped in the sea to save my beach ball.
To save your who?
Jumped in the sea to save the fish.
Okay. All right. We'll take no more. We'll just leave it at that one. Got some new dash, so I gave my old ones to a children's home.
Parents.
Okay, hold on.
You're too good.
Hold on. We have two on the side.
I'm gonna collect myself.
Kids.
Are you guys
That's a
okay?
dark joke, you know, that's a dark joke.
Are you guys okay? You got some new parents, you gave them away. You got some new kids. Is there something you want to tell us? Should I call Mr. McNally in here from the counseling unit?
Got some new friends, so I gave my old one to the children's home.
No, this
I don't want to be your friend. All right, so we have two more and then we'll wrap it all up. We collected bags of dash at the beach cleanup.
Sand.
Please go home. Go home.
Anybody else? Can they collect sand at the beach?
Anybody else?
We collected bags of polluters at the beach cleanup.
Collected bags of seawater at the beach cleanup.
All right. And our final one. I help students with dash in my free time. Oh, wait, just before we go, let's check online. So, got some new eyes, so I gave my old ones to a children's home. We collect. We collected okay, someone said this one here as well. Collected bags of water at the beach cleanup. All right, here we go.
I help students with nothing in my free time.
That's not nice. That is not nice. We have one to the back, Wyoming.
I help students with losing their phone during my free time.
With what?
Losing their phones in my free time.
I help students with the lotto in my free time. Annexia, you might want to
We have another one in the audience. Somebody helping with napping.
I help students with sleeping in my free time. Yes.
Anybody else that wants to help them with something constructive? All right.
I help students spend their money in my free time.
All right, so thank you guys so much for participating. Some of the funniest ones I heard were I jumped in the sea to save the fishes, and I got some new, well, I also like the one about I got some new parents, so I donated my old ones. And I don't remember what you said, but you said something that was actually funny. The reflection, the mirror, right. So both of you guys will get prizes, and there was one person over on this side. I think it was you. I don't remember what you said, but you said something that really made me laugh. So thank you guys so much for participating. Someone said jumped in the ocean to save the waves. Thank you guys so much for participating, and as the year goes by and the semester progresses, we are really hoping to see all of you guys participating in the different community service initiatives that will be executed by the Students' Union. We're really excited to be able to meet with you guys face-to-face and also to execute projects in a face-to-face way. Obviously, they'll be influenced by the different protocols that we'll now have to observe, but nonetheless, we know they'll be just as impactful and they'll be just as meaningful to the people that we serve. Thank you all so much for participating.
Woo! All right. Quickly, before we close, I would like to implore you guys to follow our Instagram page. So quickly just take out your mobile devices. I hope you have on data or connected to the school's internet. Our Instagram page is UTech_community service, right? Also, if you're interested in volunteering with us or assisting us with our projects, just please stay behind and I'll get to you shortly. Also, if you're online and unable to make it here, you can just stop by at the Students' Union office whenever you're on campus and just leave your name with whoever you see there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was the Students' Union, and they represented well. Give a round of applause to the representatives from the Students' Union. People, it's a new journey. Go check them out. I'm sure they have a lot in store for your student life while you are here at UTech. All right, so it's been a long morning. It's been an interactive morning. It's been an informative morning. I don't know about you, but I learned a lot this morning. All right, I would love to say big up to everybody who made the time, who came out. I'd like to say a large big up to those persons on the online platform who are still tuned in and are interacting. All right, so we are now at the end of our program. But before I turn over to the vote of thanks. The vote of thanks will be done by the Director of Community Service. He was just up here. We're going to invite him back. But before we do that, let me just implore you to visit the different organizations that are here, especially the ones that you can volunteer your time to complete your hours of community service. Just to remind you, we have Jamaica Society for the Blind here, Jamaica Society for the Deaf, and Jamaica Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. And I do want you to visit that booth specifically because they have some furry friends and they're cute, and you know, we are big on stress relief. So you can think about adopting a pet for someone, or volunteering at their office. So, and as you are leaving, please remember to turn over your evaluation sheets to the front when you're passing through. And don't forget to visit our other booths that are on the outside. They have a lot of services for you to go and see if you can enroll. So right now we're going to turn back over to the Students' Union Director for the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin, I would also like to inform you guys, because this question was posed before, how would you sign up for Tag Drive? Tag Drive, remember Tag Drive is a whole week event. However, for the drive, you would definitely have to sign up to save your space, right? A booth will be set up at the front of the school where you guys would sign up to go on the drives. Remember, the drives go across the country. I hope you guys are excited. After the drive, you know, after the long, tedious day, you have to cool off or breeze off at the beach, the after party. Now, as the Director of Community Service for the UTech Students' Union, I have been honored with the opportunity to do the vote of thanks. Now, I would firstly like to thank our proud sponsors and our guest speakers, our guests, and of course, our production team and our nights. Guys, I really look forward to seeing a bigger number are, of course, those who were online. I know it might have been difficult for you to get here, but I look forward to meeting more persons in the future. I look forward to seeing you guys after, so I don't want everyone to leave, right? So if you're interested in helping out in community service, just stay back. And once again, thank you everyone for staying and participating in today's proceedings. Thank you, and do have yourself a rest of a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. So thank you once again for everybody who took the time to come out to our conference this year. Remember, the theme of our conference this year is the power of volunteerism, unlocking your purpose and passion through service. So we encourage each and every one of you who took the time out to come and be a part of our conference today, give back. Give back in some way, shape, or form. Give your service, give your time to an initiative or just to a community engagement. All right? So thank you once again. Thanks to all of our sponsors. I'd like to mention our sponsors once again. Thank you to AIM Financial Services, Optical Smart, Educom Cooperative Credit Union, also to the new Papine Pharmacy where you can get your resident life products. Thank you to Cal's Manufacturing, and also thank you to Winchester Dental. Thank you to all of our panelists and our presenters, and most importantly, thank you to the Conference Planning Committee, the Department of Community Service and Development, the Faculty of Education and Liberal Studies, the Students' Union Council, and the College of Health Sciences. Thank you once again, and please do enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, as you exit, please visit a booth, visit the organizations that are here, visit the organizations that are on the outside, and leave your evaluation form at the registration table at the door. Thank you so much.
Educom Cooperative Credit Union. Our mission is to improve the quality of life for you and your family. We have higher deposit rates, competitive loan rates, and lower fees. Educom Cooperative Credit Union and much more at any of our 9 branches island. The quality of life for you and your family. We have higher deposit rates, competitive loan rates, and lower fees. Come and experience these benefits and much more at any of our 9 branches island-wide. Contact us at 926-6973 and we'll even take the credit union to you. Educom Cooperative Credit Union. Value through service, integrity, innovation, and commitment.